Sprint Car Challenge is a budget-styled arcade racing game that was developed by Brain in the Jar Limited and released for the PlayStation in 2005. And the game would also see a release on the Nintendo Wii and Windows PC. And the game would have players focusing on racing around lightweight cars known as sprint cars that would race around dirt-style tracks almost like in an oval-shaped environment. This type of sport would have been popularised in America and in other regions, as it's more of a hardcore race where you have to really pitch your wits against controlling the various weight distributions of the car to gain an advantage going around corners. So you do have a variety of different modes available to you from the start, with practice elements alongside of test drive and challenges. But the game also offers in a variety of different modes alongside of the sprint cars themselves. You can also gain access to various rally modes in the game as well, so you have the ability to race around in rally cars. So it tries to have many different features in the game. It's not just a game about sprint cars, there is also rally elements in it as well. So you race around a variety of different rally tracks, and you do have access to some rally cars as well, where you're pitted against other opponents in more like an arcade style format, or even in a time trial style event, so that you can unlock additional features and tracks as you play. And you also have access to a different challenge mode that is considered like an elimination mode, so the player that's in last place after each lap is eliminated from the race until one player remains. Now, while it does have some unique features, the game does suffer from a variety of different elements and flaws that hamper the overall kind of gameplay dynamic and style. Again, this game was also developed by the same developers that have released a multitude of other budget style games on the PlayStation 2, and the game utilises the same graphics engine that would have been seen in a multitude of those different games, but it also does suffer from the similar flaws seen in those games. While it does have some decent enough graphics, although they would be considered low quality compared to more mainstream games, the main issue with these type of games is always with the handling dynamics, as many of these games, when you look at even games that have big branded names, there was even Lotus Challenge, there was a multitude of other types of games that actually had big brands attached to them, but they all suffered from the same issue, when that was with the handling physics. That was the one thing that the developers were never able to get right with these games, is the handling. It always felt like that you're driving around like in a paper kind of car, if you will, because the cars would just spin out and just like as if they were sliding on ice the whole time, and the game's dynamics just wouldn't prove to be a good fit to the more beginner style of player, as the handling physics would just cause you to spin out, and especially if you were driving at speeds, if you tried to move or tried to turn the car at any sort of speed at all, the car would just literally just glitch out and you'd be thrown into a corner, into a wall in a moment's notice. And the truth is, the game itself, coupled with the cheap and aggressive computer AI, can leave for a very, very difficult and frustrating experience, because the game is just generally out and out difficult, as is the case with a lot of these type of games that were also released by the same developer. It does have some unique abilities and attributes, but it really just does fall short in terms of its playability and its just overall quality of the game, as in general and in all honesty, it just feels very subpar compared to a lot of other racing games out there. And the thing is with the game, it does try to represent, or tries to appeal to, a different variety of audiences, and tries to combine different elements all into one package, which is a good idea, but that only works well if it's executed correctly, and unfortunately this game just isn't with regards. And it's the handling. Whatever you can say about the visuals you can let away to some degree, but if the handling isn't right, that's where the game is going to fall short, and that is its Achilles heel with this. Like, it does have some good features in terms of the damage physics, like you can clearly see the damage in the cars in real time when you crash or you hit a wall or you hit another opponent, but it's just the handling is so poor that you're either sliding around or the car is so hard to turn that you physically cannot turn it. It's like trying to drive a tank. So there's no real finesse or balance with regards to the controls in this game. And I know I sound like as if I'm going on a rant, which I probably am with regards to it, but the game presents a lot but could have been executed a lot better. But I've played enough of these games to know and to see that they all suffer from the same issue, and that is regards to the handling. That's the main problem with these games. They're not as easy to pick up and play as everybody would first realise. Like, they are budget games at the end of the day for the reason, but I just think that they could have been better equipped and better put together in all respects. But it is what it is. It'll appeal to some people out there, but it won't appeal to others. But again, people that would pick up these games would only be picking them up literally just to add them to your collection if you're building up a physical collection of games. But it does offer up some unique modes, and the fact is it has multiple elements. It is, for in its own regard, regardless of the play style, at least just to try it, just to see what you think for yourself, but more than likely it won't be for everybody. That's all I'll say. Regardless of all that, I would love to know your thoughts of Sprint Car Challenge for the PS2 if you have played it in the back in the day yourself. And if so, what do you think about it? Did you enjoy the sprint car element of it, or did you enjoy the rally element of it, or maybe not so much in general? But I would love to hear your stories of this game anyway, if you have any at all, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be updated with future videos. And if you would like to see more content on the channel around other types of off-road or rally style games also seen on the PS2, you can check out this playlist here on screen to see more of those games in action. And I will see you all in the next one.